Hi guys, my name's Garrett. I'm an animal care specialist with the birds department here at the San Antonio Zoo. I'm going to be showing you guys how we prepare our diets for all of our birds. So I guess first off, big shout out to the nutrition department here at the San Antonio Zoo. Without them, our job would be much more difficult. They prepare all our chopped fruit. They send us down all of our grains, all of our greens, all of our meats, etc. And so I guess from a day-to-day basis, what we do is set up our diets and get them ready to be filled up and ready to go for the next day. Each diet that we make is for the following day, so that diets are ready to go in the morning when it's time to feed. So we pretty much just start with, we start with our grains and our dry stuff. This is dog food. We've got some low iron pellets here. Excuse me. And then after that, we head to the wet stuff. We get a whole bunch of chopped fruit and vegetables. It has peppers and peas, some blueberries, some apple, papaya, etc. And also we get lots of greens too. Chopped greens, kale, carrot. And then from there, we head into the more protein-heavy stuff. We get some fish here and lots of bugs. We got mealworms. We get some wax worms. We usually have superworms, and we also have crickets that we feed out. Live crickets. We gut load these guys so that they're nice and full of nutrition for our birds to eat when the time comes. Also, in the protein department, we feed out some frozen mice in different shapes and sizes. We get full adult mice all the way down to a pinky mice. We get those frozen, delivered in from the outside.
So what birds do these diets fit?
So the way I have the table set up in here is based on which aviary, I guess. So this section right here is for our Australian aviary, and then the next section closest is for some of our birds in the Amazonia area. These are for some Guayra cuckoos. These diets right here are for our Collie's jays, blue corvid species up near the front. And then this next section down here is for our Africa Live aviary. We have a whole variety of diets in here. Lots of pellet. The parrots get lots of pellet and fruit. Lots of sunflower seeds and peanuts sometimes. They love that stuff. And then later on in the day, I'll be setting up and getting ready to prepare the diets for the lorikeets and for our Big Lake area with all the pelicans and flamingos.
Do you have to memorize all of these diets, or do you have a board or a cheat sheet?
We have cheat sheets. We set it up for ourselves. We have what are called diet sheets for each section. So they have the measurements and the ingredients that are required for each one. Makes it super easy. Eventually, after doing it time and time again, we remember the diet sheets. So personally, I don't really have to look at them, but we have these set up so that when other people come in that don't make the diets on a daily basis, they can just look at these easily and know what to do so that the diets are correct for our birds. Each species that we get comes in with a diet that is recommended for that particular species. So we then incorporate that diet into an aviary, and it goes into with these diets, they're kind of more general. They can't be super duper specific for each bird because we can't guarantee that each particular bird is going to eat out of that pan because they're in an open space. But in an area like Birds of the World, we can be more accurate with our diets because there are only a few amount of birds in each cage. That way they can get their particular diet that's more focused on them.
What are some of the dry chows that you have over here?
So some of the dry chows we have back here, each different pellet is kind of, formulated for different types of birds. So up here we have some parrot food. big pellets. The parrots love these. The pigeons actually really love these. And then I guess down here we have some flamingo food, different crane pellets, duck food.
Is
And
this the kind of food that helps keep flamingos pink?
it is, yes. And also the scarlet ibis over in the Amazonia aviary. So each pellet is kind of formulated like, I guess to be more relatable, it's like dog food. Each one has the ingredients and nutrition in it that is going to help those particular kinds of birds most. Thus with the flamingo and the color.
Do you have any birds that eat meat other than bugs and mice?
Yes, we do. We have, I guess, all of our storks and our ibis, they love to eat meat. And the cuckoos, the jays, let's see, we have a few bustards that love to eat meat. They get our Nebraska diet. We call it bird of prey diet. It's a lean ground meat that we feed out to them. They really love that stuff.
Michael said he had no idea that birds ate vegetables. So what kind of birds are only vegetarian?
Yeah, I guess, I don't know that they're only vegetarians, but the parrots do love their veggies. I found that most birds have a particular disliking to green foods, or green vegetables for some reason, or fruits. There's lots of, like the peas are left over, the bell pepper is left over when we get them in the diet. Parrots love it, starlings love to eat fruit, toucans are big fruit eaters, pigeons are big fruit eaters.
Who gets the biggest diet and the most food?
I would say our biggest diet is probably for our scarlet ibis. Second, maybe the parrots in Africa. We have a bunch of scarlet ibis in that Amazonia aviary, and they are very, very hungry when it comes time to eat. The Vasa parrots in the Africa Live aviary come down to eat the second you put that pan down. They are hungry, hungry, hungry.
Do you have different techniques for placing all of the pans so that every type of bird has access to them?
Yes. So each, for the Africa Live aviary in particular, I guess I'm most familiar with that one. We have different food stands that are set at different heights so that different birds or I guess we aim to get different birds eating their particular diet that we make for them. So the parrots are on a higher food stand, the starlings are kind of up there. We have black tubs on the ground for our guineas, the Congo peafowl and the Kenyan crested guineas that are in there. The hammerkop and the two abdom storks that are in the Africa Live also come down and eat on the ground usually. They don't like to perch up on the food stands. It's a lot easier for their feet.
Do you have to do all of these dishes every day?
I do not, thankfully. I do my own dishes that I create with the tubs of food and the buckets and stuff. Our keepers that come in and are feeding out those particular areas come in and clean their own dishes. Of course, we help out as a team when needed, and I do dishes from time to time.
What process is taken when you guys need to change diets?
So when we need to change a diet, it first starts with a lot of observation. We usually wait a few weeks to a month before actually changing a diet. We check to see if like something in particular in a diet is being left out consistently week in, week out. And after that, we consult, the managers in our department and if we need to just make sure that particular things being removed or added from a diet is going to be safe and healthy for that particular bird species.
What does it mean if an animal gets a fast day, and why would you offer them that?
Animals get fast days to be more like a natural environment feeding. So we have two king vultures in particular over in Amazonia section over there. And they fast on Mondays, which means that they don't eat anything on Mondays. Vultures in the wild wouldn't eat every single day, so we try to keep their day-to-day life more natural if possible by actually not feeding them in that particular day.
Do you have any diets that are your least favorite to make?
I guess my least favorite's probably our scarlet ibis diets. It consists of a whole one of these Nebraska logs, 3,000 grams of fish, a whole bunch of flamingo pellet, and it requires a lot of cutting, mixing, getting my arms covered in meat products and fish juice. So it's not super bad, but it's probably the muckiest of the diets that we have to make.
We have had a few people donate so far during this chat. If you want to throw a shout out to the people that donated.
Shout out to you guys donating to us at the San Antonio Zoo. We couldn't do this day to day without you guys. It is greatly, greatly appreciated.
Is this where you store cold food items?
This is where, yeah, all of our cold food goes in. It's empty at the moment because I haven't been able to finish diets yet. It's early. So each shelf on this side of the fridge is going to have different sections diets on it. So up here I'll be putting the Australia. Here will be Africa Live diets. Down here is Pheasant Run, and on the bottom will be Amazonia. On the right side we keep all of our cold stuff, our meats and proteins on the bottom. We practice the same, I guess, like safety regulations and health code stuff that restaurants do with meats on the bottom, fruits up and stuff on top. We also practice the FIFO methods, first in, first out, so that we make sure to use things in the correct order. Over here we've got our lorikeet powder, bugs, greens, fruits up here in this shelf.
When we are open, are there any opportunities for guests to participate in feeding animals here at the zoo?
Guests can participate feeding up at the giraffe deck each day, and they can also feed the lorikeets in Laurie Landing each day in the Australia area. It's just $2 for a cup of nectar to feed those little guys. They love their nectar cups, and it's a pretty fun family experience for kids and stuff. Also, we have the Flamingo Mingle out on our Big Lake area. It's closest to the carousel in the center of the zoo. You can feed a cup of flamingo pellet to some of our flamingos that come up. They are filter feeders, and they kind of splash around in the little cup that you have. It's pretty fun. I know kids enjoy being up close to those rather tall pink birds if they're younger. Slightly intimidating, I guess, if I were that size.
So, before we wrap up, can you tell our viewers what the best way would be for them to help support San Antonio Zoo and all of you animal care specialists and all of the amazing care that you give to our animals?
The easiest way to help support us is to go online and to donate. We have a link in the video, and you can go on our Facebook and donate to our emergency fund. Any amount of dollars that you could send our way is greatly, greatly appreciated. It helps the animals, it helps us, it helps everyone at the zoo. So any amount that you could, we would love it. And thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it.